Welcome back, traders. In this video, I want to show you guys the break of structure and retest strategy. The reason why this is really important is because my whole strategy, my whole approach is based off of this. And you guys need to really understand this because this is where entry confirmations and this is where you execute and get into the market. So understanding how this works will allow you guys to get good entries and will allow you guys to understand my whole approach when I break it down in my putting it all together in my strategy video. So a break of structure in a retest is basically just market structure forming. Okay. As you guys know, in the bullish market, we do this: higher highs and higher lows, just like this, right? And what we want as a trader is to get in on the most efficient level slash price. Okay. So basically buy low, sell high, right? So if I wanted to buy low and sell high, guys, but I already see this trend, creating, where can I get in? I can get in where? When price starts retracing. Because we know, guys, price can't just go in one direction the entire time. It has to. At some point, it's gonna retrace, right? And as a trader, this is where you can think, okay, let me be ready for this. Let me try and get in on a retest, right? Because look what we do. We break structure, we break previous highs for buys, right? And then we are going to retrace in this area because we know that previous highs is where price likes to test to create a higher low. So if I can anticipate this and I can anticipate that this reaction is going to occur because we know the foundation of bullish market structure, right? Higher highs and higher lows, I can try and get in on a higher low. And that is what a break of structure and retest traders try to do, right? Break of structure and retest traders are going to wait for price to break out of a certain point, right? Usually a previous high or some point for, buys to get in on a higher low, right? Boom. Price creates a higher low. It holds, gives us more entry confirmations if we need it. And then we are hoping price can, continue pushing up to buy. Okay. So you guys heard me say that usually that we're going to get in on a previous high, right? Previous highs is where price likes to test to create a higher low. Sometimes we might actually use a low. Okay. And I want to show you something, right? Sometimes we do use lows, right? In bullish structure. The reason why is, think about it like this, guys. Usually when we have a bullish trend, we are going to have what on the left side? A bearish market structure, right? We're going to have bearish market structure. And maybe, guys, just maybe, bullish structure has maybe not yet formed, right? So on the right side, right, this is the left side of the market. On the right side, we're going to start forming bullish market structure, okay? But let's just say we don't have, any highs that we can really go off of, right? Because price is still forming. It's still trying to decide, is this a strong support zone that I truly want to buy from? Or am I actually going to continue selling down? So what you can use instead is a lot of the times are these lows in a bearish market. You can use lows in a bearish market. The reason why you can is because remember I said in one of my videos, I think it was, hunting for liquidity and, advanced market structure, right? And AR, anticipating retracements. We can anticipate a retracement in this area, right? That means we can use this as a level to wait for price to break, right? So we would mark a low. The reason why I say this, guys, is basically what do we want? What do we want to happen? We want price to do what? We are hoping price is going to break this level, but sometimes it might not have the strength to break this what? This is also an AR level, right? If you don't understand why this could be an AR level, please watch my anticipating retracement video, which is part of my advanced market structure, part 1 and 2, right? If we test this level, guys, right, and we don't break it, we know we are gonna what? Usually retrace, because lows in a bearish market is where price loves to create a lower high, right? So if we create a lower high, guys, you guys know because you've watched my other videos, we have to be paying attention to this low. We want to ensure that we respect or even sweep it to hold and reverse, but we maybe create a higher low instead, doesn't matter, to continue pushing up. So you can use this low as a break of structure if you want to get into the market, because you're gonna what? Try and get in on a retest in this area for price to continue pushing up. Okay? If price, decides to retrace from that zone and you want an earlier entry, you can just wait for the retracement. See, are we holding? Are we creating a higher low? Are we sweeping it? If so, you can get in again, right? Down here at a better price. But let's just say you know what? You're like, I want to actually wait. I'm not really that confident. I don't know. I just want to get more extra confirmation. I want to be really, really sure. Okay? And you can do that. So you're gonna wait for price to do what? Break this previous high, right? If this is what price, decides to come back down and retrace actually, right? And then do what? Test this level, right? This is the exact same thing as if price was to just break it and retest it like this. And this is why this works. Because even if we retrace here, we create a previous high when we retrace, right? And so this is why we can still use it even if we don't get a retracement and price just shoots up and breaks it already to try and get in on a retest in that area and then in hopes that price holds to then continue pushing up for buys, right? And that is what breaks of structure and retest traders do. We're either going to look at a previous high, right? Wait for a break of that level, right? Previous high, wait for a break of it to then, hopefully get a retracement to get in on a higher low. But sometimes we might not have previous highs to go off of because maybe price is just forming structure. So what can we use? We can use lows in a bearish market because we know those lows must get broken at some point because price has to eventually go up higher to create higher highs and higher lows, okay? To create higher highs and higher lows. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it, right? So you're either looking at what? A previous low in bearish market structure, MS for market structure, right? So you're looking left basically. And when I say look left, it doesn't mean like look all the way back into the like 1964. No, we're talking like just slightly left. You will is you will find one pretty quick, okay? If we don't have this, guys, what can you use? Okay, we know that this is some type of AR level. Again, if you watch my advanced market structure video, this should make sense as to why it's an AR, right? And the price ends up retracing and you see it hold, if you are not like an experienced trader, I would say, if you are used to how the market moves, maybe and you'll get in here. Maybe you'll get in an entry here, right? Maybe you want to enter in early, or you can just wait for price to do what? Break a previous high again, which may be this one, and get in on the retest here. So this would be your retest entry. Okay, so that is the concept for buys, guys. That is the whole concept for buys. I want to show you sells, and then we're going to go over here with more examples. Then we will use the candles. Okay, so, oh, this is beautiful stuff, guys. This is beautiful stuff. If you are this far in my course, I applaud you because you know what? You're about to be great. Not because I said so, but because you're locked in right now. You are doing a lot of things. You're doing something that a lot of people are scared to do, right? This is a hard skill. It is a hard skill. Do not get me wrong. But once you got it, guys, you will have it for the rest of your life. And that is the most powerful thing in the world. When you can learn something that no one can take away from you, that this is why I speak with so much love and passion because this is truly remarkable. Even if I'm not where I want to be yet, guys, even if you aren't where you want to be, I'm going to say this. This is going to be the best season you enter. Okay? I'm declaring it for you guys. I am declaring it. I just want to say that off topic, but you guys are going to become the best traders in the world. This is why I created this course, guys. Cuz I was like, damn, people like the way I teach. They need this. They need to hear my voice. They need to hear my passion and they need to see how easy something so complex can really be. And I really hope this is helping you guys. Anyways, guys, so this is going to be the bearish example. All right. And then we'll go on to this little drawing that I have because this is important as well. Okay, bearish market structure. What do we see? We see this. Boom, 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 boom. Lower lows and lower highs, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure you guys know that. Lower low, lower highs and lower lows, whatever. Okay? So, what do you usually need to make sure when it comes to sells? Usually, we are going to want price to break a previous low, so a low in general, in hopes that price corrects, right? So this is the break of structure because we're breaking a low. We're breaking that previous low, right? We're going to break structure, okay? And we are hoping to get in on the retest, which is this, where price is creating a lower high. And you guys know the statement that I always say? Lows in a bearish market is where price likes to create lower highs to continue selling down. It's really that simple. Lows in a bearish market is where price likes to create a lower high to continue pushing down. And doesn't this match our statement, buy low, sell high? Would I rather sell at a lower low or a lower high? I don't know about you guys, but yo, I'm trying to make some money. We're trying to get in a little higher, okay? So a lower high is more efficient and more beneficial and more profitable because you can make more money. So our goal is to get in on the retest here. And this is where breaks of structure and retest traders try to get in. They are anticipating that price is going to do what? Test this level to continue pushing down. And similar to buys, guys, sometimes we might not have a low. And let me show you guys something, okay? So on the right side, we have bearish structure. On the left side, we're going to have bullish structure. So opposite to what we had for buys. For buys, we had on the left side, we had bearish market structure. So sellers, right? And on the right side, we have bullish market structure because we're anticipating buyers are going to gain control. So we're going to shoot back up, right? In this case, we have bullish market structure happening on the left side. And we're hoping that price does what? Creates bearish structure on the right side to continue pushing lower, right? So let's just say we don't have a low because price is just looking at this resistance yet. And it's like, should I really sell from this level? Is this a great level to sell from? It's like, maybe it's indecisive. Maybe it's indecisive. Maybe it's just not sure yet, but it's going to try to, right? So if you guys don't have a low, right? A previous low, you can say, you guys can actually wait for a break of structure of a previous high in a bullish market. So meaning look left, right? And why is that, guys? Think about it like this, okay? So we have a resistance. Gonna change this color right now. Okay, let's go. Let's go green. Let's go green. Okay. So we can use a previous high. The reason why is because let's just say, right? We're at a resistance. I want to delete some things. We're at a resistance, right? Okay, we are at a resistance. Beautiful. What do we know already? Again, this is based off of what? My advanced market structure video. Previous highs is where price likes to test to create a higher low in a bullish market, right? It's going to do this. But we know that we're anticipating a retracement here, AR level, right? If you don't understand why this is an AR level, please watch my advanced market structure part 1 and 2 again, right? So we know we can, retrace, take this high out and hold to sell down, right? And what did we create when we do that? When we hold at this level, and if we were going to sell down later, what did we just do? We broke structure, right? Doing this broke structure. Why did it break structure? Because we're breaking a low. Price decided to break, meaning more candle body than wick going through this level here. So we broke structure. And what are we anticipating as traders? We are anticipating that price is going to come back into this level for a retest to continue pushing down, right? And this is just maybe price, decides to take out this high, right? Maybe price decides to take out this previous high here, or it stays slightly below to create a lower high. Or we just do what, guys? We just break in general. And why does this work? Why can we use a previous high if we don't have any low present? The reason why, guys, is because if we know this is a level that price could do what? Continue pushing up. We want to ensure that we don't do that. So we want to ensure that price breaks it, right? And when we break it, we can then try and do what? Create lower high, right? Because what do we need to do in order to create bearish market structure? We need to break lows and respect highs. How can we go lower? How can we go lower? Literally, how can we go lower, guys? Here, if we don't break this level, we can't. So, this is why you can use this as a level to be like, okay, you know what? I want good confirmations. I want to wait for price to break out of this previous high here, right? Because this will ensure me that price isn't going to do what? Create a higher low, right? And when we break it, guys, we are trying to form what? A lower low, right? And I'm hoping that price does what? Come back into the area to create some type of lower high, right? And this allows us to do what? Buy low, okay? And sell high, because this is price creating a lower high when we retest the area, when we retrace, because we know we eventually have to retrace, and we're hoping that price holds and then reverses it into the opposite direction. We are just doing what? In reality, we're just trying to get in on every higher low here, right? We're just trying to get in on every lower high here, right? Because this is how structure is formed. It might not look this pretty, but this is the basis and the foundation of market structure. And that's why it works. Okay. So let me show you guys something else. So I wanted to show this example before I got into the candles because I just want to make sure we are clear. Remember, when we are talking about breaks of structure, we always want more body than wick going through a zone. We want something that looks like this. Okay. So please make sure you understand what a break of structure looks like and what a non-break of structure looks like. I have a PDF file showing examples because this is so important. Okay, very important. Not only to hunt liquidity, but also as a great entry confirmation. So when we see something like this, guys, right? When we see something like this is not a break of structure. We have a lot of wick going through this support zone right now. This would be a break of structure. This is what? More so rejection, or we can say maybe in a liquidity sweep. We're not sure because I have no other candles on here. But I just want to make that clear. Anyways, okay. So right now the purple zone, we're looking at what? Support, okay? Support can become resistance, vice versa. When we come here, we're going to be resistance. Until then, once we break, we're going to become support. Once we come here, it's a resistance, right? And then we can do some price action. Once we break, it's going to become a support. Okay, so this is the basis of support and resistance. If you don't understand that, watch my support and resistance video again. You guys got this. Don't worry, you got it. Okay. Anyways, so if we were at a support zone, guys, we are looking at what? We're looking at previous highs. If there's no highs in general, you can use a previous low or a low in a bearish market, just like I explained, right? If we were buying, we are going to wait for price to break structure. So more body than wick going through a zone, right? We're going to wait for a break of structure. And then we're going to wait for what? Price to come into the area to retest to create a higher low. Okay, we're going to wait for price to retest in this area, creating a higher low, right? If we fail to break this level and price is so strong at this resistance, and then we start forming structure. Okay, let me like show you guys. So let's just say we start forming structure. All right, we come here, we retest. We retest here. Then we start forming bullish market structure like this. And then we become very strong at this zone. Okay? Then we become so strong at this zone that price doesn't want to break through it. Okay? Maybe sellers gain control. So, what would be your entry confirmations to get in? A break of a previous low. If there's no previous low present, because what? Because maybe we're just early in structure, what can you use? A previous high in bullish market structure, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Right? So what are you thinking about? When we come into the zone, if we break it, right? We break it, we're going to try and get in on a lower high to continue pushing down here. Okay? If we don't break it, right? Because we know we might not. We can hold here. And what are you paying attention to see how we hold here? If we take the high out and hold, cool. If we stay below it and create a lower high, cool. And you can, and if we do, you can use the same level, a previous high here, to try and enter in for sells on the retest, right? Or you can, or if structure creates one, so let's just say, just gonna zoom in a little bit. So let's just say we come down here, right? We come down here, we retrace, right? And then we actually start creating structure here, right? And we start creating more structure. What can you actually use now? You see how we have a previous high in a bullish market structure, and I said you guys can use that, right? But if we start creating one and price actually holds at the level, right, and retraces and holds, and you're not confident that price is actually holding to create a lower high or taking out liquidity, whatever, right? When price forms another low, so in this case, this one here, right? I'm going to just do an arrow so you guys can see that because that's pretty big, right? This one here, that low, what can we do? We can try and get in earlier and wait for the retest entry to sell down. And we know if we miss it here, we can try and do what? Get in on the retest here to sell down maybe up until this level. Okay, so let's continue this. Let's just say we're really, really strong and then we break this level here, right? And again, I want to show you a break. I just wanted to use a candle for this break right now. So this is our structure break. Okay, more body going through a zone. Okay, maybe there's a little wick at the top. Who knows? So what does this become now? If you understand support and resistance, this becomes support. So we can do what? Try and find an entry confirmation at this level because this is now considered support. And this is the same thing as price doing what? Testing, maybe a previous high or highs in general, because what are highs also, guys? Highs can also be resistance. So already price testing this resistance zone that became support when we broke, that is still price doing what? Testing previous highs or testing highs because we marked it as resistance. So this level here, we can actually do what? Get in here. I want to make that a different color, right? So we can wait for price to test this level to then continue pushing up. Okay, we create more structure, more structure. Maybe we have make a previous high here, and then we try and get in again in this area, right? Because what? We broke it, okay? We know we're gonna create a what? A higher low in that area, okay? And then price decides to use this as resistance, and then we can either use this previous high here to wait for a break and then a retest. If it holds there, what can we do? Well, if it holds there, guys, right? Price comes up and holds, right? It creates a resistance here, holds here. You already know what we're looking for. This is also what? An AR level. If you don't understand why, watch my AR level video or advanced market structure video. Okay, so we come here, we might take it out, or we might create a lower high. If we're not confident in the sell, what do you wait for? More confirmation, either a break of this zone here, or if you find an earlier low that you can use, wait for that, right? And then enter on the sell. That is the whole concept of break of structure and retest, right? That's how it looks. So I am going to show you guys true examples so this makes way more sense. I like to wait for breaks of structure on the 15-minute time frame. And the reason why is because I think the 15-minute time frame is the powerhouse of the lower time frame, okay? So let's just say you did your whole top-down analysis based off of my approach or maybe your approach, however you go about it, right? Then you drop down onto the 15-minute time frame and you realize you're at a support zone, okay? You're at a support zone. Maybe you're trying to get in for buys because you see the right confirmations, right? We're overall bullish, this is a low here which can be support. We validated it looking left. It shows signs that it wants to buy. What do you need in order to buy? We need higher highs and higher lows to be created, right? And remember, I told you guys on the left side, which this is going to be the left side, we have bearish market structure being created when we're trying to buy, usually, right? And then we're hoping that price does what? Creates bullish market structure on the right side. So, what do we really want? We want a break of a previous high to confirm buy strength, to confirm that that is the right move to get into, right? So what do we need? We need some type of high, right? Do you guys spot any highs? If you don't see any, go use a line chart. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty clear to me. I see a high right here. So I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what? I don't care what price does, okay? I don't care if we, don't create more structure below this, whatever it does. If we break this level, I'm hoping to do what? Get in on the retest. Because why? This is the same thing as doing this. This is the same thing as doing this. This is the same thing, same thing as this. Okay? Maybe it doesn't look as pretty. If you want to use a line chart, you can 100% do so. If you're used to how the markets look, you'll see it like this, right? Okay, more a wick going through the zone. Okay, so that's not a break of structure. When there's more body going through the zone, that is a break of structure. We're getting wicks. Maybe we're sweeping what? Liquidity. Maybe we're just taking out people out. Maybe we're just taking people out of the market, right? And also, if you guys know, what is this also an AR level? If you don't know why this is an AR level, please watch my video because this we anticipated it. And that's what ARs are all about. Anticipating, right? Knowing, right? Reacting off of price action, right? So we're like, okay, we didn't break this level, right? But we're still respecting this zone here. Look, we touched here once, twice, third time, fourth time. So what does that tell you? We're clearly strong. We're just not strong yet. We're not strong enough to push up yet. So once we break this level, right? Break structure of this zone, I'm going to try and get in on the retest to continue pushing up, right? And I know as long as we respect this zone, we're probably going to be bullish, right? We're just not that we just don't have the strength to buy yet, right? And what can you also do? You can validate any liquidity sweeps. If you guys, you know, watch my validating liquidity video, you guys know I'm gonna mark some type of level here, which is gonna be a low here, right? You might not see that on the 15, but on the 5 minute, you guys can see it more clear. Again, this is just from experience. I've done this so much that I knew that there was a low in this area. Look, this is a low here. Again, if you can't see, this is the low. But because there's wicks, this is why it's kind of lower here. Okay, so if I put the back, exactly, right? So there's a low there. Let me go on the 15 minute. Okay, even if you wanted to do it, slightly lower or even maybe in this area because you saw this high here, we know highs like to be tested, right? So we could do it slightly here if you want, but I see this one. This is the next low that I see. So even if we did come down here, right? I don't care why. Because I know I can validate liquidity here. I'm trying to connect the dots with the validating liquidity with the break of structure and retest strategy. The reason is because at some point I'm going to be connecting all the dots and I want you guys to understand it. So I try to talk about other concepts in other videos sometimes, or some videos that you might watch later on because it's really important, right? You want to try and connect the dots or learn things as early as you can. So when you get to that video or when you watch that video again, whatever it is, it makes a lot more sense. Okay. So even if we come lower here, I don't care because I'm validating liquidity. I'm validating price sweeping the lows, right? And I know price can do what? Create some type of high and I can get in earlier if I wanted to. That's even better because I get to buy lower, right? But if we don't end up coming even near these lows or near this low here or this level, I should say, then I know we're pretty strong here. And this in due time, price is going to break this level to retest and push up, right? So let's wait for the next candle. Again, I love to wait for my breaks of structure on the 15-minute time frame. Please, 15-minute time frame. Okay, let's wait. Oh shoot, I did that a little too fast. A little too fast. All right. Okay, let's analyze this. So, this is a breakup structure, right? And because you if you had a limit maybe in this area, you might have been stopped out. Might have been. Okay, let's just analyze it for you maybe. Okay, let's just say, all right, let me put that there. TP here. Okay, stop loss, maybe. Let's just say here. That's pretty. And no, I like to do 1 to 3s minimum. So I'm just gonna let's just say it was here, right? You might have been stopped out. Okay, but why is and this is why I don't usually like to do limit orders or orders where I already have my position there, and then when price taps into the area, I'm already in. No, I like to wait for the retracement, wait for price to do some movements in the area, then show me it wants to, buy. Sometimes like that's my way of doing it. So even if you had gotten in early here at this point here, what's really important is watching price when you're in the market. So let's just say you are already in because you let's just say, right? When price did this reaction here, you're you already got tapped in because you put a limit. So you got tapped in here and then price ended up going even lower here, right? And you got stopped out. And that's okay. That's why entering on market execution to me is honestly really, really great for that. But even if you did, that's okay. But let's analyze why this might have happened though. Okay? So what do we need in order for price to continue pushing up? Previous highs must get broken, right? Previous highs must get broken in order to create a higher high. This has to break to create a higher high, right? But what are highs also considered? Resistance. This is what I mean. Connect the dots. Resistance, right? So if this is considered resistance because it's a high, right? And we're approaching it strong, right? Then we know there's a good chance that if we, fail to break, we could come back down here. And this is why you're not scared because price is going to eventually come back here, right? To create a higher low, right? So because it's technically a resistance or it's a high and we know if we don't just break highs like immediately, usually we're going to try and retrace, right? We that's just how price works because highs are considered what? Usually resistance. Even if it's just a singular high, it's still if we were to look in the past at some point, there was probably a reaction in the past, right? So when we retraced, we ended up having a deeper retracement, but that's okay because we can still use this level as a break of structure level, right? So when we got this candle here, and then let's just say you waited for the retracement, right? You're not in the market yet. You were still waiting for the retracement to happen. You're like, ooh, price just flew down here. It just flew. Okay? Don't be scared of it. Why? Are we above this level here? Our reference point? I feel like I always spell reference point wrong, but that's okay. Are we above our reference point? Our validating liquidity area? Yes. So did we test or retrace from a point that is actually valid? That's okay. That market structure makes sense from it? Yes. It's a high. We retraced. Okay. Did we break structure? We did. Okay. Yes, we came here. We came really strong here, right? And that's okay because, maybe we didn't get in yet because we saw, okay, we retraced. We saw how strong this candle is. We're like, oh, shoot. Let me wait. Let me see what the next candle presents. Beautiful. Shoot back up here, right? Break a structure. And we're near our AR level. We can do what? Anticipate a retracement is going to happen. Okay. Maybe again, right? And then we can do what? Buy in this area, right? We don't have to buy completely right now. We can wait for price to retrace in that area, right? So we can wait for price to come back down into the area on the 5 minute time frame if we wanted to. I usually like using the 5 minute time frame. So when you see me doing my putting it all together or my entry confirmation video, you're gonna see I love to use the 5 minute time frame. I like to wait for price to retrace it on the 5 minute, come into my area, show me that it truly wants to buy, right? And then we get what? A retest on there. And then what do we do? We just ride it, right? And we make sure that when we do watch it, we are waiting for what? We're waiting for price to continuously break previous highs, break this level here, break this level here, right? And if we don't just break it, we know that it's trying to act as resistance, right? It didn't break it here. So it's trying to act as resistance. So price is going to retrace. And yes, we want to enter here, but we want to watch this low here. We always want to watch the previous low when price fails to break structure. We want to make sure it's not liquidity. In this case, it's what? Liquidity. It swept the low and then it shot back up, right? We didn't break it, so we know we're going to retrace. But then we held here nicely, right? We saw this rejection here, right? And we could have, gotten in this area and then ride price back up, right? And this is how it looks on the 15-minute time frame, right? Remember, it's less candles. So it broke structure, right? This was the break of structure, right? And then it retested here, right? And then it came back and tested the level again because it failed to break structure again. But we held nicely, creating good structure. Okay. Again, going back onto the 5 so you guys can see that a little bit more clear. And if you guys know how, know how candles are or engulfing candles, this is not a perfect engulfing candle, but we did test in this area, which makes sense to me as far as structure wise. So this is valid, right? This is valid. And even though we came back down again, this low staying above this previous low here, creating a higher low, and then we immediately took off again. So this level is valid as far as a buy zone. And ladies and gentlemen, you just got a break of structure and retest entry just by connecting the dots with reference points, an AR, so anticipating retracement, so advanced market structure, and just understanding what a break of structure looks like. Do you see how simple that can really be? And I know it's easier said than done, but as you see it more, as you practice, this will make more sense and you will just see things more clear every time. It's go you will pick it up so quick, especially if you journal your trades. Trust me. It's something you'll pick it up quick and you can back every reasoning of, even if price hits your stop loss, your take profit, back to market structure. Market structure will tell you why things happen. It doesn't hide. It just cool. Okay, we had a high here. We retraced. Okay, we took this low out here. Okay, that's liquidity as well because we're what, trying to gain strength to try and push up again. Okay, we immediately pushed up again. We broke structure. Okay, tested around the AR level. Okay, we got a retracement into this support zone. We held. We rejected it. Had a strong wick on the 5-minute time frame. Right, tried to retrace to break this AR level or this high again, this resistance area, but failed. Okay, so if we fail to break structure, we're gonna come down. We're gonna reverse into the opposite direction. Why? Because we only have one other option to do. So it came back down here, held here really nicely. Saw this even better on the 5-minute time frame. Held here, right, creating a higher low, staying above this previous low here, and then immediately shot up. And then we finally broke this level here. And what did we do? Test the A. We tested what? A previous high, right? This is just bullish market structure. Yes, it's not as pretty as when I draw it, but it's still creating structure. It's still creating beautiful structure, right? And this is what I mean, guys. It is, everything can be back to structure. Structure always wins. It always wins. I don't care what strategy you use. If it has to be backed by market structure. It has to, because this is the foundations of how the market moves. So that being said, guys, I want a break of structure on the 15-minute time frame of this zone to confirm sellers are in control. Because I want price to test this level to create a lower high to continue pushing down, right? Again, I am using this level because there is no low present. There's no low created on the right side right now. Beautiful. What is this also, guys? This is also called an engulfing candle. So you guys know engulfing candles love to be retested. So not only does this zone kind of validate this, but also we're breaking structure, right? More body than wick going through a zone. When you go on to the 5-minute, you see that way more clear, right? And you also see what, guys? You also see what? A low being broken here, right? This is a low. It broke it, right? Look on the line chart, right? This is a low that we would want broken as well, right? This is a low we want broken, okay? So we can use this low. Beautiful, right? Even this technically is a low here, right? But on the 15-minute time frame, because I already know it's an engulfing candle, because we're larger than the previous candle, I know this area will most likely be valid. So I'm okay if even if I'm in, drawdown a little bit because of this candle, right? Or because of my entry, I mean. So that being said, guys, your entry is going to be on the retest in this area, right? Because you broke structure. Let's just say you had more confirmations, market structure bias, right? You're waiting for price to create what? A lower high to continue pushing down, right? And why do you guys not have any FOMO right now? Why don't you have FOMO? Because we're approaching a level that might cause a price to create a support, right? Lows create support, right? And what did we do? We tested what? This area. Okay, we even tested the engulfing candle. If you guys struggle to understand engulfing candles, please watch my engulfing candle video, right? I made that video because I use them a lot for entry confirmations, right? And a lot of you guys might think, Meeks, isn't this a higher low, right? Yes. But also, why did price create a higher low is what you should be asking. Because these are previous highs. Previous highs love to create a higher low in bullish market structure to continue pushing up. So even though this is a higher low, right, we are ensuring that when we get in on the retest, that we validate that price is actually not going to, break this previous high and it's, trying to hold to continue pushing down. I don't care if it's liquidity sweep, as long as we respect and show that we don't want to go higher, get in for the sell, right? And then, have your targets and then just ride the trade. Ooh, look at that liquidity sweep happen, guys. Look, you see that? Ooh. All right. A liquidity sweep did happen. And honestly, again, market structure will tell you why. Okay, we held here, failed to break. So what are we going to do? We're going to push up. So what do you have to look at? The previous high here, right? To make sure that it's not liquidity, right? And it ended up being a stop hunt. It might not be a wick liquidity sweep, right? Where we see a lot of wicks happening and then it reverses, right? It ended up coming up with strong candles, right? And then immediately came back down. So realistically, this might have been a stop hunt, right? Trying to gain strength to do the reaction or the movement it wants to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly how you use a break of structure and a retest to enter into the markets.